everybody, and welcome back to Blanche Case Fitness. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for Jump Around, our weekly cardio class. Yeah, it is weird weather in Colorado. I definitely, I talked yesterday about all the snow that we're supposed to get in the next few days. But it's not supposed to really get going until Thursday night or Friday. And I woke up this morning and I looked outside and I was like, was that snow there yesterday? Because I didn't think that was supposed to start that soon. But yeah, we got a little snow overnight, and then it was snowing this morning, and then the sun came out, and then it was cloudy again, and then it was sunny again, and the snow is all gone. And I'm like, Colorado, you need to calm down, my dude. Because I do not understand what's happening. But yes, so lots of weird fun spring weather, something like that. But yeah, still on track as far as I can tell for lots and lots of snow over the next few days. So that will be it'll be an experience. So again, if you live in Colorado, particularly the Boulder, Denver, Front Range area, please make sure that you are prepared. You have enough food and water. You have confirmed your heating source for the weekend, and yeah, just make sure to prepare yourself as much as possible. It's not supposed to get super cold, apart from, cold enough to snow. So that's good. But it's, if we are legitimately going to get several feet of snow, you're not going to want to have to go out and try and do something because you didn't stock up on an essential. So yeah, it's important, so make sure that you are prepared, please and thank you. We want to take care of ourselves. But yes, and also I just realized that daylight savings starts on Sunday. So the nice thing about moving over to an era where most of my timepieces are Wi-Fi connected is that I no longer have to worry about forgetting to reset things. And I know that this will give me the correct time. But just in case you get up in the morning and you're like, why does my oven say an hour early? That's why. So yeah, everybody prepare for good old time change. I don't know. I wish we didn't have to do this. I wish we just stayed on a consistent calendar and, dealt with the fact that some parts of the year are darker than others, but I don't run the system apparently, so that's fine. I hope that you are all having a good week. Mine's been fairly mixed, and I know I know that I am not the only one. And we've talked a lot about how that's probably going to be the experience for many of us for the month of March. But you know what? We're here, and we're going to do an awesome cardio class that will hopefully help to just pump us up a little bit. And I think that today's class is going to be pretty straightforward in terms of structure. We're just gonna, again, have some fun digging into specific exercises. So yeah, if it's been a hard day, if you've been struggling with stuff, or if something that you've been trying to plan out has not been going the way that you want it to, yeah, I feel you, absolutely. And don't try and hide that from your brain during class, because that is never helpful. But see how you want to use it to inform your class. All right. So maybe you just have a lot of anxiety or anger to work off, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna be just crushing this cardio class because that's what I really need to do. Awesome. Or maybe you're coming in and you're going, I just feel so exhausted. I know I need/want to exercise, but I just really need to focus on just getting through class. Awesome. All right. Just be honest with yourself about where you are and about what you need. Okay. Again, always important for us to check in and make sure that we are listening to the signals that our bodies and our brains are sending us. All right, my friends, you know what? I know I usually chatter on a little bit more at the beginning of class, but I am definitely feeling the need for some exercise. So I say we just get right to it. Hey, it's all right. We've got an hour of fun. All right, so let's do our pre-class checklist. Everybody, make sure you have your water. Take that sip, see how your hydration is. I did not feel the immediate desire to drink half of that bottle, so I think I've been doing pretty well on my hydration today. Woohoo! You've got your comfy clothes, whatever that means to you. You've got your mat or mat-sized space on the floor. And if you use a fitness wearable, now's the time to turn it on to high-intensity interval training. Yeah. Don't worry, this is not a perpetual motion class. So you will be able to stop and stand around and drink your water. We'll be totally fine. Okay. Friends, let's take a second. Let's take a couple of just centering breaths, you know. For those of us with anxiety, it can be really easy to get lost in our heads and in our thought loops. And believe me, that is something I struggle with. But one thing that can help, taking a couple of deep breaths and just centering ourselves as here, as present, in our bodies, in our workout clothes, about to get on that mat and do a class. So let's yawn. And then let's just take 2 deep breaths right here before we go anywhere and do anything, all right? Here we go. All right, let's get going, my friends. So we start off, as always, with everybody's favorite warm-up. The warm-up that gets us through every class, gets us nice and ready to work out. Hang on, I need that timer up. There we go. Da-da-da. All righty, and everybody on your mats, on your backs, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee, and as soon as that timer goes, we will begin with hip rocks and bridges. All right. Oh, hang on. Turning on the speaker would probably have been a good place to start this particular process. So, yeah, that gives you a sense of where my brain is at right now. Oh my goodness. All right. Take 2. Okay. Oh, let's see here. There we go. That's why I was confused. Yeah. Off and away, my friends. Off and away. Remember, even if you are planning to use this class as an opportunity to really crush through some feelings of anger or anxiety or sadness or anything along those lines, and I fully support using exercise as a way to give us a physical manifestation of our own power in a time when our brain is not managing it well. Remember that the warm-up is not the place to start that. The warm-up, no matter where we are today, no matter what your overall goal is for the class, the warm-up is our opportunity to boot up systems. So let's not just dive in there at 120%, or we will be very disappointed with how we make it through class. That's not what we're going for. No, is it? No, no, no. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's been a weird week, my friends, and I feel like I have said that literally every time that I've gotten on stream. Oh my God. There is, it's interesting trying to figure out how to navigate the coming months in terms of being able to see people and interact with people, depending on vaccination status. You know, they're like figuring out, okay, even once I have been vaccinated and I've let the few weeks go by to confirm that that everything has sort of gotten into my system appropriately and built up the appropriate protections, then we have to do a reassessment of our risk levels, Do I feel comfortable, being in indoor spaces with other friends who have been vaccinated? What happens when one person in a home has been vaccinated and the other person hasn't, which is gonna start happening a lot depending on people's positioning in various prioritization schemes. How does that how does that change how we interact, or does it change how we interact? How soon will we feel comfortable traveling? How soon will we feel comfortable being in indoor spaces with people we don't know, not knowing what their vaccination status is? There's going to be a lot of reshuffling of the things that we've been using as our benchmarks for behavior and for taking care of each other during the majority of this. And yeah, obviously this is putting the cart before the horse in my instance, because I'm not going to be eligible for vaccination for a few months yet, unless I, get picked off of a waiting list somewhere. But it is definitely a dance that we're all going to have to do pretty soon, if we're not doing it already. And it's going to be really weird and really hard to see people able to interact a little bit more freely if we're still not vaccinated. That is going to be really hard. And so we're going to need to pay attention to taking care of everybody, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's fascinating. I've been thinking about this a lot. Figuring out how to care for others and to not become completely myopic and just only focused on my own needs, but also trying to manage, what my needs are. How do we care for others when we are also going through a tough time? How do we check in? How do we make sure that people still know that we're there and that they're there and that we remember them and we care about them? How do we ask for help when we need it if we know that the people we want to ask for help from are going through a lot of struggles of their own, and I don't have a great answer. I've been struggling with this a lot, wanting always to care for the people in my life and to make sure that they know that I am here to support them through whatever they are going through, while also trying to figure out how to get that support in return when I need it. And that's a difficult juggling act even when we aren't in the middle of a freaking global pandemic. Well, that is really hard to balance. And you see a lot of really unhealthy ways that people do balance it. Obviously there are people who go way too far down the must care for everyone else, even at my own expense path. And you see people on the opposite end of that spectrum who say, I must care about only me and only my needs at all times. And if someone else's needs feel like they're going to be at all difficult to manage, then, fuck that. That's too much. Only my needs are the important ones. And there's, obviously I'm exaggerating on both ends of the spectrum. But yeah, it's a hard balance to figure out, even in the best of times. How to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, making sure that we are identifying our own needs and not just pushing them down, but putting them out into the world to be met, while also recognizing that recognizing that other people have needs as well, and that when we care about others, when we love others, that we need to pay attention to those needs and figure out how to meet them, or how to meet in the middle on them. If we don't feel like we can do exactly what they need, it is a hard thing to figure out, my friends. And when you add a global pandemic on, and then suddenly, we're trying to navigate all of this stuff while also being really isolated from one another, and also being really afraid of the health ramifications of this illness, and also worrying about the health and safety of our families and our friends and our older loved ones and our immunocompromised folks and our disabled folks and our pregnant folks and everybody all the way down the line. It's like, well, now I really don't know how to balance this. Now I really don't know how to find enough energy to take care of others and take care of myself. It is a process, and I don't have any brilliant answers. If you were coming here looking for answers, you have come to the wrong fitness stream. I don't have any brilliant answers, except we have to try, and we have to pay attention, and we have to verbalize our needs rather than just assuming that our needs are in line with what other people need and then getting surprised when they go, well, no, that's not what I need at all. Having those conversations and listening during those conversations, being honest about when we have the spoons, and being honest about when we don't immediately, but we want to circle back when we do, getting better into the habit of checking in with people before we drop a big emotional thing on them to discuss. We just have to pay attention, and that's really hard. That's really hard, but it is really important, particularly right now as we are more isolated unable to be with each other physically, it is important that we remember to reach out and remember to communicate, remember to come to each other for support, to recognize when somebody doesn't have the spoons for that support in exactly the moment you need it, but knowing that that person will circle back when they do. Yeah. So I guess here's this week's homework. In case I haven't given any other homework assignments. I don't think I gave any yesterday, though I can't remember. Reach out to one person who you haven't talked to in a while and see how they are and see if they have anything that they need emotionally or support-wise. If we can start doing that, checking in with each other, remembering that we don't live in a vacuum, that our actions do not impact only us, is going to be really important. It's always really important. It's going to be even more important as we start slowly moving back out into the world. I don't know, friends. It's so hard for me to even say that. It is so hard for me to even believe that that's something coming down the pipeline, which is ridiculous. Like, vaccine's already out. I already have friends who've gotten their first dose. I have friends who've gotten their second dose at this point. But, this whole year has felt like a series of rugs just being continually pulled out from under us. And it can be really hard to let that hope back out. And to be like, no, I can believe that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe we're not there yet, but it's real and it's coming. We're getting closer to it. So I've been struggling with that. I've been really struggling with looking at this as something that is real and really happening. There's a lot of desire to not be disappointed, I think, because there have been so many points of that over the year, and it can be really hard to let ourselves trust, to let ourselves trust that this is really something we can actually start looking towards. So, if you've been struggling with that, I feel ya. I'm right there with ya. And I look forward to all of us getting the opportunity to remember that it is okay to have hope and to maybe start planning for a life outside of hard quarantine, and to visualize what that's going to look like, rather than just worrying that we're being too optimistic, There's a difference between going, oh, a vaccine exists, therefore I can just go back out into the world and going, okay, a vaccine exists. I can start thinking about what I will do when I get it. All right. Good warm up, friends. Good warm up. Let's grab that water. Woo! Making sure to hydrate. Always important. All right, my dears. So, it's cardio day. Let's do a lot of pushing ourselves. I think today we're gonna focus in on 20-second Tabatas. And we're gonna focus in on just one exercise at a time and really hone in on that exercise, push ourselves, be able to just focus on that one thing, and yeah, push for a little more speed, a little more intensity, see where we go. So, our first exercise is going to be turtle jumps. So, as always, up onto the shoulders, up onto the feet. We will jump, come all the way back down, and repeat, all right? If you have difficulty rolling directly up onto your feet, you can use a hand to push yourself up, or you can let a knee come down and then stand up that way. Just make sure that you're paying attention to your momentum overall, because those modifications do tend to sort of arrest the momentum a little bit. All right, so turtle jumps, that's what we're gonna focus on. That's where we're gonna start. Remember, that sound did not mean go. That was our stop, rest, relax. That knocking was our get ready. And that is our go sound. So we're just jumping up in the air. So honestly, this is kind of related to the frog jump, just in terms of the fact that we're jumping up from this really low squat position. But the nice thing is we have the additional momentum. So we're not just going from a dead stop, all right? And always remember that with our turtle exercises, they always take a little bit more time than we might think that they would. So we are not necessarily going to get a huge number of reps in because we've got the rocking back and then getting up onto the feet and then coming all the way back down and repeating. So there are a lot of components to this that will get in the way. So, all right, my friends. Yeah, 20 seconds though does give us the opportunity to push a little bit more intensely than we might otherwise, okay? So you can really go for that challenge. It's nice because frequently our brains will sort of get in the way and be like, well, no, we don't have enough energy for that. We don't have enough stamina for that. But when we're doing 20-second intervals, we really don't have enough time. Our brains don't have enough time to get to that point, because by the time that they're like, wait, what are we doing? We've already gotten through the interval. So yeah, try and take the opportunity to really just see what you can do to challenge yourself. So maybe push for a little more powerful of a jump. Maybe you're going for a few extra reps, you know, whatever you want to try and do there, okay? And I've been trying to ramp my own exercise up in class by doing more overall sets during each timer than I usually do, which is super exciting. And again, is something that I haven't really tried to do for myself because my brain was like, well, you know, you need to maintain enough energy for talking the whole time and teaching the whole time, so better to just stick to the number of sets that you were doing before. And challenging myself this way and making a concerted focus, making it my specific focus, I am here going, oh, well, I actually had a lot more energy for this than I thought I did. So it's nice to challenge ourselves every once in a while, and frequently we will be pleasantly surprised. The call of the mathematician, a solution exists. It does, somewhere. That doesn't mean it's going to be an easy solution. That doesn't mean it's going to be an easily achievable solution, but it's out there somewhere. Oh, that felt good. That felt really good. All right. So, next we are going to do push-ups. So, remembering always that you can do wall push-ups, you can do incline push-ups off a piece of furniture, you can do our traditional plank, you can do from the knees, you can do half plank, half wave, full wave. The important things are keeping your shoulders directly over your wrists and keeping your elbows glued in by your sides the whole time, okay? So not letting them fan out. So, same timer, same jazz. I rushed through that explanation. I can actually hold off and chill for a second. Yeah, I tried to give us as close to 2 minutes rests between sets as possible. And inevitably, more frequently, I end up talking long enough that we get way more than that. But today I'm staying kind of bang on time, which is exciting. All right, get ready, get set, and go. So push-ups are an exercise where we tend to have opinions about what the best version is to do. And you know what? I want you to throw them out the window. Because frankly, this exercise is amazing. It's so simple and it is so good. And no matter how you are doing it, you are getting an awesome arm exercise, okay? So really, and I say this totally seriously, I do not care which version that you do. All I care about is keeping the elbows nice and tight in by the sides and maintaining the length of your body. So even if you're doing push-ups from the knees, you see that I still have a really long line from my knees up to my neck, okay? So make sure that you are keeping that nice long line no matter what, alrighty? Oh man, you can tell I'm a little scared to ramp up on the number of sets I do for push-ups, because push-ups are an exercise that still feels really intense to me. And I've been teaching for over 2 years now, and you know, I've been a very fit and active person for my entire life. But yeah, push-ups still get me. I was thinking this morning about a company I used to work for that had a channel on our internal like Slack Discord setup that was just the push-ups channel, and it was literally somebody would go in and just say, they would tag the channel, and everybody had to do push-ups. Everybody had to just get up from their desk and do a set of push-ups. And I've been thinking about, so I really want to start a Discord server for our channel. Just have a fun, chill place to hang out, to talk about, you know, different activities that we try, different classes that we try out. But I think that I would really want to do a push-ups channel and give us an opportunity to just tag that channel throughout the day, and whenever you see that tag, you go, all right, it's time for push-ups. Because that can be a nice way to just remind us, especially those of us who have desk jobs and who are, you know, sitting down for most of the day. It's a good way to remind us to get up and move around a little bit. All right. So yes, I think that will be something that we add in once we get the Discord going. So many plans, my friends, so many plans. And I'm really excited about it. Oh man, I could not have foreseen where this channel would be a year in, but boy, am I excited, and boy, am I proud of all of us for sticking together, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our health, and yeah, just building out nice exercise habits. It's gonna feel really good when we can start moving through the world again a little bit more freely. I am willing to bet that you will notice the added strength and stamina and power that you have built in class, and class will always be here for us to keep building. All right, so next exercise, let's do those high knee runs. I prefer high knee runs to flaming scarlets at this point, honestly, just because this holding the arms up can be really difficult on the shoulders for people with shoulder issues. So just doing our high knee runs is a lot more accessible to more people. Remember, our goal is to get the knee up above the crease in the hips, but if you are not there yet, that's fine. Then your goal is just get your knees up as high as you can, all right? So when you start to notice them starting to sag down a little bit, that's the time to pull back together and be like, all right, let's get those knees going a little higher again, so that we always know that we are getting them up as high as we can, okay? And that's what it comes down to. I'm gonna frequently give you the aspirational version of different exercises. And that doesn't mean that you're there. That doesn't mean that you have to be immediately able to do that version. But you know what you want to be working towards. And That is important, okay? And then we just remember that we do not have to get there in a specific timetable. And we have a tendency to be goal-oriented in a way that does not acknowledge how long things can take, you know? We set a goal for ourselves and we go, okay, well, I should be able to get that done in a month. And then a month goes by and maybe we've progressed towards the goal, but we are still, you know, a fair ways away from it. And we have a tendency to go, okay, well, this isn't worth it then, because I tried to do this thing and it didn't feel like we made the progress that I thought we should have made. But here's the thing, progress is not linear. I know that sucks. I know how frustrating that is. We want progress to be linear. We want to put what we think is a ton of work into something and then go, all right, cool. I put in X amount of work and I am receiving the equivalent amount of progress out of it. And that's just not how humans work, my friends. It is not how human beings work. And that can be really hard for us to acknowledge. And there is a very strong tendency in many, if not all of us, to give up if we don't immediately see the progress that we think we should. And we go, okay, well, clearly this is too hard because I was putting all this effort into it and I didn't immediately get the result that I was expecting. But the thing is, it's just not how this works. And if something is important to us, then we have to acknowledge the fact that it may be more difficult to achieve than we want it to be. And we have to acknowledge the fact that that sometimes it will take more work than we thought. Sometimes we'll have to take a break in the middle and rest and sort of regather our thoughts and our energy. You know, it's hard. It's hard to be okay with that, but we cannot force ourselves to strengthen because our muscles are not going to do it on anyone's timeline but their own. And we cannot force ourselves up to the summit without following the trail that may have lots of twists and turns. It may go down for a little bit before starting to go back up. And thought I was going to say wreak havoc. I almost did, I think. My brain got a little twisted around. I was like, what phrase am I trying to say here? I'm not sure. All right, let's do some abs. For our next trick, I think we will do some bicycles, because I do love bicycles. All right, so we contract those abdominal muscles to lift our shoulders and our chests off the floor. One knee into the chest, the other leg extended but off the ground. Opposite elbow to knee. and switch, and going back and forth. All right? We are not putting our hands behind our heads, okay? Because then we will be far too tempted to be yanking in our heads, trying to pull ourselves up that way, rather than engaging the abdominal muscles and generating all of this movement and all of this hold from the core, okay? So that is why I keep my hands literally in front of my face. I don't even want them on the sides of my head because I need to make sure that I am focusing the energy and the engagement on those abdominal muscles, okay? We've got the obliques doing a nice little twist from side to side as we bring that opposite elbow to knee. And we've got the lower abdominals helping to pull the knees back in towards the chest and extend the legs out. We've got the upper abdominals keeping the chest off the ground, nice and lifted, all right? I don't even have my shoulder blades on the ground right now. So, woo! Oh man, make sure you're breathing, okay? Obviously it's harder for me to model that particular behavior because, well, I'm talking the whole time. But make sure that you are breathing the whole time. Your muscles need that oxygen. And here's the thing, it's easier to forget that when we're holding a position. So our core is moving around, but the, forgive me, core of the exercise is held. It's holding that chest up. It's holding the legs off the ground. And so we need to remember that those abdominals are working hard and they need that oxygen. Well, they need that exercise too, but they need that oxygen in order to be able to keep doing what they're doing, okay? So it ties back into making sure that we are booting up all of our systems correctly so that our muscles' energy production systems are online and are running at peak capacity so that we can make sure that our body is continuing to generate the energy that we need through the entirety of class. So oxygen plays a huge role in that because oxygen helps us to break down those fuel sources into usable energy, okay? So make sure that you are breathing, that you're not just trying to muscle your way through, that you're checking in and making sure that that form is still correct. So for our ab exercises, the main thing for our form is, are your abdominals the muscles that are generating the movement, okay? Are they feeling the intensity of holding our shoulders up off the ground and helping our legs to move the way that they need to? Because let me tell you, if you're getting through that and you're going, oh, I don't feel anything, I must just have really strong abs. I've got really strong abs and I still feel that, okay? And if you're not feeling the engagement, then it is a strong possibility that you are not actually engaging your abdominal muscles. So just keep that in mind, because I went through years with a lot of ab exercises going, oh, well, I don't feel this, so obviously it's because my core is already super strong, and that was not the case. All right. Woo! Okay, my friends. Let's go. Let's go. That was really intense on the core. I'll tell you what. So, we're going to stand up and we're going to do flying chickens because I do love a good flying chicken set. So, feet together, thumbs at chest height. If you wear a bra, you can just hook your thumbs under your bra straps. We bring the feet apart in the air, but land them right back where they came from on the ground, and we just flap the elbows up and down. So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, just like that. All righty. Everybody rocking away. Getting that water in, super important. Make sure you're drinking water throughout class. Fitness friend says, remember to hydrate. All right, and now we're getting ready. We heard the knock, 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 and yeah. So with our flying chickens, we do want to feel a little bit of core engagement just to help bring all of the limbs back to center and make sure that they're not sort of flying off in a lot of unexpected directions, okay? So it'll be easy to tell whether you are, whether your core is doing anything right now, because we just did a super intense core sequence. So yeah, you should definitely be able to tell if your core is doing anything right now. And it's not doing a ton. Like, this is not a core exercise, but basically every exercise can benefit from that added core engagement. It's an incredible muscle group, both for stability and for movement generation. So it is pretty much never a bad idea to start out an exercise and go, all right, is my core engaged? Is it participating in this exercise? Or is it just sort of chilling? And just start noticing the difference, okay? To start going, okay, when I don't engage my core, I feel like it takes me a little longer to get through a rep, it takes me a little longer to get those limbs snapped back to center, and maybe feels like my limbs are not quite as precise in where they're going in space, versus when I do engage that core a little bit, I can feel the added stability, and that helps me to move more quickly and more intensively because I have that core stability that is anchoring the exercise. So no matter how quickly I'm going, I can still count on everything ending back where it needs to. So yeah, just, you know, our core sort of at our center, and it's really, really critical in everything we're doing. So at this point, you've had more than enough time to figure out whether your core is engaged, but you also want to check in with it every time we start a new interval. And, you know, after you've been going a little bit in the interval, because just because I start out with that core engaged does not mean that it's going to stay that way. As our muscles get fatigued, we start to lose that hard and fast form, and we have to check in and make sure that we can pull it back. Woo! That was intense. That was nice and intense, my friends. All right. Okay. How's that water? I'm drinking along pretty well, but even I could be drinking a little more consistently. So make sure every time that we're on a break, you're drinking that water, all right? Wow, we're really focused today, which is nice. It's what I needed today. It's just a little bit more focused intensity and just going, all right, let us remind ourselves of our own badassitude, because it can be way too easy to forget that. And you know what? You're a badass, you're a badass, you're a badass. You're all super badass. All right. Next exercise. We're gonna take it down a notch. Not super far, but we're gonna do side-to-side planks. So starting from that front plank, shoulders directly over wrists. Let the heels come down to the side, up on one arm, the other arm up towards the ceiling. Hold for a second, let the judges see it, then back through the center and to the other side, all right? So we're not going for speed on this one because we wanna make sure that our focus is the strength and stability in our shoulders, all right? So don't worry about going really quickly from side to side. Instead, focus in and make sure that you are hitting that position on each side, that your shoulders are always engaged and pushing away from the ground, okay? We're not letting ourselves sink down. I can't even do it to demonstrate the bad form because my shoulders immediately go, what are you doing? You know better than that. But yeah, we want to make sure that we are strong and stable, that we are not in danger of wobbling around, falling out of the position. All right, so if you struggle with shoulders, if you have a tendency to injure them, or if you have noticed that exercises that require a lot of shoulder engagement feel really hard for you, then just remember that side-to-side planks are such a good strengthening and stabilizing exercise. And you want to put that work in. You absolutely want to put focused attention into strengthening and stabilizing your shoulders because they are our most unstable joint. And that's by design because they have this incredible range of motion. I mean, I don't have any other limbs that can do that. But that means that they can be much easier to injure because they aren't as strong and stable. So we need to do the work to strengthen them up. And that doesn't mean that we need to like bulk up to the point where we lose that range of motion, we lose that flexibility. Absolutely not. But we have to, it's important to remember that there are so many times when we really want something heavy, I don't want the weight to pull my arms out of my sockets, and that's a really dramatic way to describe that. But you know, when we're doing weightlifting, we talk about if you're holding a really heavy weight and you're not stabilizing that shoulder, then the weight and gravity are going to get together and they're going to try and pull your arm down towards the ground. And so you want to make sure that you understand when you need to stabilize your arms and that you can do that, okay? So, yeah, I love these exercises. Shout out to my chiropractor, Ellen, at the Chiro Lab. This is not sponsored. I just really love her work. I basically credit her with helping me to get back to exercise in a meaningful way, because my shoulders were just really struggling for a long time, and I have ongoing injury issues that are so much better now because of her help and the attendant physical therapy exercises that she gave me to strengthen them. And it's just like night and day. And it's amazing because not only did it help to reduce the chronic pain, but it also then had this completely unexpected, by me anyway, impact of making so many exercises that used to be really hard for me so much easier, because now I have that strength and I have that stability. And so, yeah, if you can find yourself a good chiropractor or a good physical therapist, it's amazing. I highly recommend it. All right, my dears. We got time for one more. And yes, we're gonna do it. So, that last one, our last Tabata. You know it, you love it, it's burpees. So, all the same form notes from the warm-up, but remembering that this is the 20-second interval, so you have more time to push a little bit harder. You're not going to get nearly as many reps in, and that's okay. But you can push for a little more speed, a little more intensity. All right, so here we are. We have made it to the last Tabata of class. I'm going to take my glasses off so I'm not worried about them falling off my face in the middle of this. All righty. Everybody's ready. We have come so far, just a little bit further, remembering all of the form notes from the warm-up. So, nice big victory clap, making sure you're doing a wave push-up rather than a plank push-up, and really trying to push for a little extra speed. All righty. Oh my goodness. We are going, my friends. Yeah. Remember, you're alone in your house. You can absolutely do nice, big victory cry, battle cry, whatever you need to do to inspire yourself, to push yourself forward, to remind yourself that you have come through. That was the start of the timer. It was right there. My apologies. There's an alarm going. So I hope you're doing your set. Oh, fucking hell. Sorry, friends. I need to move that particular alarm so it doesn't start happening in the middle of our class. Oh. Okay. So we are on set 4. And there we go. Now we can hear that nicely. So, It's cardio day, and cardio day is intense. And cardio day, we work up a sweat, and we push ourselves. And, you know, the definition of pushing ourselves is different every time. But no matter what, you came in here and you have made it through an hour-long class, really intensive class, and you should be so proud of yourselves. All right, now's the time that we get our cheerleaders out. We set them on the ground next to our mats, next to our laptops, our TVs, whatever you are using to stream this class. They are doing their best floor routines. They are cheering like crazy, and they are proud of you. You came in here, you said, I'm going to take care of myself today. And maybe that looks like pushing for a new PR, or maybe that looks like just getting on the mat and moving when I have to move. And you did it. No matter what that goal was, you crushed it. No matter what you came in here dealing with, you have the power and the strength to deal with it, because you are here making a commitment to your health, to your fitness, taking care of yourself so that you can take care of your community, your country, in whatever way that means, whether it's dismantling white supremacy or breaking down late-stage capitalism. You've got this. You've got this. All right. Woo! Good job, everybody. Holy crap. Holy crap, that was an intense class. How are you feeling? I'm feeling the intensity. I'm gonna get some hamstring stretching in here. So let's take that wide position, okay? You wanna make sure that your knees are pointing up towards the ceiling and not caving in. So that may impact how wide a position you can take with the legs, and that's fine. All right, we're gonna square our shoulders to one leg, and we're just going to bring ourselves over until we are lying over that leg, feeling a real intense stretch in the hamstrings. Making sure that other knee is still pointing up at the ceiling. Shaking that quad around, just making sure that it's not clenched or engaged. Shoulders square. And we're going to take 4 deep breaths here. And each time you exhale, just try to sink a little more deeply into the stretch. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Now take the same arm as the leg that you're lying over, bring it to the inside. Open those shoulders out so they're now squared towards the front. Bring the other arm up and over so you're getting just a nice lengthening stretch in the lats. All right, and we're just going to take 3 breaths here. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. And 3. And up to seated. And now Other side. Square those shoulders. Coming down over the leg. Checking in, making sure this knee's still pointing straight at the ceiling. Shaking that quad around, making sure it's not clenched or activated. We are really just trying to lengthen those hamstrings as much as possible. So let's take those 4 deep breaths. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Same arm into the inside of the leg. Open the shoulders. Other arm up and over, getting that nice long stretch along the side. And let's take 3 deep breaths. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. And 3. And up to the center. Shake those knees out. There we go. All right, let's do, let's lay down on our backs and bring our knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around them so that you're hugging your knees into your chest. Just rock back and forth just a little bit, gently opening up the lower back a little and getting a nice stretch into the hips. And now we're gonna let one leg extend all the way along the floor, keeping the other knee into the chest, and then bringing that knee across the body into a nice twist. All right, both shoulders should still be flat on the ground, okay? It's hard to keep this back shoulder from trying to chase after the knee. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our head away from the knee and look towards that hand. And that's gonna help to keep those shoulders both flat on the floor. And then we're gonna take our 4 deep breaths right here. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. All right, turn your head to look back up at the ceiling. Bring that knee back into your chest, other knee to meet it. Wrap your arms around them, rock back and forth. There we go. And now extend the other leg along the floor. Bring that other knee across the body, getting that nice twist, maybe even getting a little chiropractic adjustment in the spine. Remember to look away from the knee, back towards that other arm so you can keep the shoulders flat on the ground. And let's take those 4 deep breaths. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Look back up at the ceiling. Bring that knee back up and into your chest. Other knee to meet it. Rock back and forth. And then you can just let yourself roll over to the side, sit back up, grab your glasses awkwardly from wherever you've thrown them on the ground. Ooh, those are dirty. Ah, there we are, my friends. Holy crap. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. What a great class. You know, I like to put this class here on Wednesdays because frequently Wednesdays are a hard day. You know, for people who are in the Monday to Friday 9 to 5 cadence, Wednesdays, you know, frequently feel like, oh my God, I'm so far from where I want to be. And I don't see how I'll ever get there again. So having our cardio class on Wednesday nights gives us that pop of energy to help us to ground and refocus and be like, all right, I can get through the rest of this week. It's going to be fine. And I love them. Plus it's just fun. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. I had so much fun with that class, and I really hope you did too. That felt really intense, but in a good way. And I know that for myself, I definitely was able to challenge myself in ways that I hadn't been challenging myself previously, and that always feels really exciting. And again, and I know I've said this a lot today, but I'm going to keep saying it because it's really important to remember. One person's challenge criteria does not have to be everybody's challenge criteria, okay? So if you've just started taking this class, maybe your challenge criteria is just how many of these work intervals can I get through where I'm moving the whole time. That's an awesome challenge criteria, and it's one that, quite frankly, basically everybody has when starting a HIIT class, you know, is just, okay, that's why our focus points are starting on time, stopping on time, and doing the exercise correctly. The two of those that I consider the most critical are starting on time and doing the exercise correctly. Stopping on time is important as well, but again, depending on where you are in your journey, your challenge criteria may be, I need to build up to the point where I don't have to stop moving until that horn tells me that I can stop moving. And that may take a while, and that's fine. And it's an amazing goal to work towards. And if you were able to make some progress on that today, if you made it through more overall work intervals without having to stop than you did last time, then you should be incredibly proud of yourself, okay? So always remember that. It's great to have challenge criteria. We don't have to have the same criteria as everyone else. And honestly, we shouldn't. We should be listening to our bodies and our brains and figuring out what they need, what we need, what is going to serve us best, okay? And sometimes that's, all right, I am really gonna push myself for a lot of power today. And sometimes that's, all right, I'm gonna focus on just moving the whole time. And both of those are great, all right? So I want you to always remember that. I know that I bring it up a lot, but quite frankly, there are more than enough people in the fitness industry who behave like they're drill sergeants. And I mean, anyone who is taking class with me for any length of time knows how much I hate that. So yeah, whatever your challenge criteria was today, I am proud of you, and I hope you feel good, all right? And remember too, this is another thing that bears saying, and it kind of goes hand in hand. Sometimes we set challenge criteria for ourselves and we're not able to make it that day. And that's okay too. You know, it's frustrating. It doesn't mean that we want to just give up entirely on that challenge criteria. But if that's not where we were today, if that's not what we were able to achieve today, that's okay too. You know, if you're coming to my class, then you know that my focus is not on, you know, training elite Olympic level athletes, or, you know, strongest man in the world candidates. My goal is to help you build exercise as a sustainable tool in your toolbox for a healthy life. And that that means that we listen to our bodies and our brains, and we pay attention to what they need. And sometimes what they need is for us to take a rest. Sometimes the best thing we can do for our fitness is to not work out on a given day. And that is not a failure. And that does not mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you are not fit. It just means that we need rest. Rest is important, and it is valuable, just as valuable as that exercise that we just did. And I will always remind you of both of those components, okay? We're not here to push ourselves until we collapse into a puddle or injure every bone in our body, okay? We're here because we want to still be able to take this class when we're 60. We want to still be able to climb that 14er when we're 80. And we can, okay? So learning to listen to our brains, listen to our bodies, know when we can push ourselves and challenge ourselves, know when we need to take a step back and rest. And no matter where you are in that process right now, I am super proud of you, because that was an intense class. That was a good class. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I am still feeling my core, which is always fun. All right, my dears, we have 2 more classes this week. On Friday at 6 p.m., we've got Functional Home Fitness, where we do weight training using objects you can find around the house. And then Saturday morning at 9 a.m. is the weekend kickoff, which is our awesome strength and stamina focused body weight class. So I hope you join me for either or both of those classes. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All of those handles will be in my end cards, but they are all variations on Blanche Case Fitness. My YouTube channel is where I upload all the VODs from these streams, so you never have to miss a class, even if you can't make the live cast. So definitely head over there and subscribe. If you want to help support me financially in making these streams, I do have a Ko-fi account for one-time donations, Blanche Case Fitness. Your donations are always very much appreciated. Or you can subscribe to this channel or follow this channel. If you just want to help build this community up, then please do follow or subscribe. Tell your friends, loved ones, coworkers, anyone looking for an awesome class. I stream 4 days a week. We have an amazing community. I've got so many plans for the year, and I can't wait to share them with all of you. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate everything we've been able to build in the last year. I mean, we're Twitch affiliate now, which is just, I honestly didn't think that we would get here this early in 2021, but we did. So thank you for being here. Thank you for working out with me. Thank you for taking that time to take care of yourselves so that you have the energy and the strength and the stamina to take care of the people around you. Now, make sure to finish that water, go refill it and have some more. Make sure to have a good dinner, start refueling, replenishing those glycogen stores so that you can keep working out throughout the week, and have a good shower, because that's always important. And I will see you back here on Friday. Mwah. Have a great night.